There are stories we think we know, because we've seen the headlines, the flashbulbs, the noise. Stories we assume are simple because someone else told us they were. But every once in a while, a life comes along that proves just how wrong we can be. A life wrapped in stardom, yet shaped, quietly, painfully, by battles no camera ever caught. Tonight, I want to tell you about that life. Tonight, I want to speak about Salman Khan, now. Not the myth, not the controversy, not the icon, but the man, raw, unfinished, honest, on the other side of everything he's lived through. Pause with me, and imagine a world where millions adore you, millions judge you, yet almost no one truly knows you. That is where his journey begins. From a young age, Salman's story was never just about cinema. It was about pressure, expectations, the weight of a family legacy, the crushing need to be more, to do more, to prove more, until the line between the performer and the person started to blur. And somewhere in that blur, he began losing the right to simply breathe. But every great journey has a moment, a shift, a fracture, where life stops moving in a straight line. For him, that moment didn't arrive with fanfare. It arrived quietly, like most life-changing things do. A realization that strength is not measured by how loudly the world applauds, but by how silently a man fights when no one is clapping at all. There were days he broke in ways no screenwriter could script. Nights when the spotlight vanished and left him alone with only his thoughts that echoed louder than any stadium crowd. He wrestled with pressure, with scrutiny, with the unavoidable mistakes that shape every human being. He wrestled with himself, because sometimes the greatest battles are fought not against the world, but within the walls of our own minds. But the part people rarely speak about is how he stood back up. How he kept standing back up. Not because he was unhurt. No, he was hurting deeply. He stood because something inside him refused to stay down. There is a strength we see in films, polished, choreographed, edited. And then there is the strength lived in private, the strength to face your own flaws, your own fears, your own breaking points. It is not glamorous. It is not celebrated. But that is the strength that defines a man. Salman learned to live with storms, not by avoiding them, but by walking straight into them. He learned that resilience isn't built in front of fans, it's built in front of mirrors. He realized that growth does not come from perfection, it comes from the courage to rise after the world expects you to fall. And in that rising, something shifted. He began offering the world the only truth that ever matters. That goodness, real goodness, is not the absence of mistakes. It is the presence of a heart that keeps giving despite them. He poured himself into work, not as an escape, but as a lifeline. He channeled his pain into purpose, his struggle into service. He reached out to lift others, not because he wanted praise, but because he understood what it meant to feel alone. And he didn't want others to feel that way. There is a quiet heroism in that. A kind that rarely makes the news. But perhaps the most remarkable part of Salman's journey is not where he has been, but who he has become. A man who knows that fame is fragile. A man who knows that forgiveness, especially of oneself, may be the hardest thing in this world. A man who knows that true strength isn't loud. It's steady. It's patient. It's human. He discovered that resilience is not an inherited gift. It is a muscle built through heartbreak, humility, and the refusal to let life define you by your darkest chapters. He learned to face forward, to keep walking, to embrace the parts of himself he once tried to outrun. And for the first time, he stopped performing for the world and started living for himself. Pause here, because that shift, quiet yet immense, is where the untold journey truly begins. You see, there is something profoundly human about breaking. But there is something divine about healing. And the path between the two is never straight. It twists. It stumbles. It demands that we confront the pieces of ourselves we fear the most. Salman walked that path, not with perfection, not with certainty, but with heart. And that is why his story matters. Not because he is a star, but because he is a reminder. A reminder that no matter who we are, fragile, flawed, brilliant, broken, we all have the power to become more than our past. We all have the right to reinvent, to rise, to reclaim our worth. Tonight, let this be a testament to the quiet resilience inside every human soul. Let it remind us that courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to keep stepping forward, even when fear walks beside you. Hope is not found in the easy days. It is forged in the nights that threaten to break you. And perseverance, that sacred flame, is the choice to believe that your story is not over, even when the world insists it is. Salman Khan's journey, raw, complicated, beautiful, teaches us this. We are all more than our battles. We are all more than our failures. We are all capable of a rebirth so quiet, so profound, the world won't even notice until we are already standing tall again. So wherever you are in your own journey, whatever weight you carry, whatever chapter you wish you could rewrite, know this: your strength is still inside you. Your courage is still alive. Your hope is not gone. Stand up, take a breath, and keep walking, because the greatest transformation of your life might be waiting, right on the other side of your hardest moment. And when you rise, as he did, you won't just change your story. You'll change yourself, forever.